Up to now, this whole course has been the bad news. Here's what kept breaking. Here's why. Here's the hole underneath every build that fell apart on you. That part's done. From here on, it's the good news, because the hole has a shape, and a shape you can name is a shape you can fill. So let me hand you the way out. Not a pep talk, not try harder, not wait for a smarter model. An actual system with actual parts that goes exactly where the missing pieces were. It has a name. It's a 5-phase method. And by the end of these next few minutes, you'll know what each phase is and which failure it kills. Not how to build all 5 yet. That's the course this one points you to. But the shape of the whole thing, so the rest of the way out makes sense. Here's the move underneath all 5, and it's the entire shift. Up to now, you've been improvising, sitting down, describing what you want, and letting the AI run, deciding everything fresh every single time. The 5-phase method replaces the improvising with a system. Same you, same AI, but now there's structure between you, doing the holding that you were trying to do in your head. That's the shift. From winging it to running a process. Everything below is just the 5 parts of that process. Phase 1 is context. Before the AI builds anything, you hand it what it actually needs to make good calls. What you're building, who it's for, and the lines it must never cross. Most builds go wrong right here, on the very first move, because the AI was handed a vague wish instead of a clear picture. Context is first for a reason. Get it wrong, and every phase after it inherits the gap. Get it right, and everything downstream gets easier. Phase 2 is rules. The conventions the AI follows on every decision, written down once, instead of re-argued in every chat. Remember the loop where every fix broke the last one, where the same choices kept getting re-rolled like dice? That's the no rules failure. And this is the fix. You write the rule the moment you catch yourself correcting the AI on the same thing twice. From then on, it just follows it. The drift stops because the decisions stop moving. Phase 3 is documentation. And that word is drier than what it actually is. This is the project's memory. It's the record of what you decided and why you decided it, frozen in place, so the project stops forgetting itself between sessions. Remember the build that walked in cold every morning, that knew nothing about last week's decisions? No memory was the failure. Documentation is the cure. The why gets written down once, and it's still there in 3 months when you or the AI need to know why something was built the way it was. Phase 4 is verification. Real proof the work holds. Not the code ran, not the AI said it's done, but an actual check against what done was supposed to mean. Decided before you built. Remember when "it works on my screen" stood in for proof, right up until it met real life and fell over? That's the no verification failure. Verification is the cure, and it carries one cardinal rule worth keeping. Find at least one thing wrong, then fix it. If you went looking and found nothing, you didn't verify. You skimmed. Phase 5 is feedback loops. The cycle where what you learn comes back in and makes the next pass better than the last. What broke gets captured, and then it goes upstream. A repeated correction becomes a new rule. A wrong assumption sharpens the context. A real decision becomes a record. The system doesn't just sit there. It gets smarter every time you use it, instead of drifting further every time, which is exactly what was happening before. So look at what that adds up to. No context, no rules, no memory, no verification, no loop. That was the hole, the 5-shaped hole this whole course has been circling. Context, rules, documentation, verification, feedback. Loops, that's the fill. Each phase drops into the exact gap that was sinking your builds. Line them up against the failures, and they match one for one. That's not a coincidence. The method was reverse engineered from the failures. It's the failures solved in order. And here's the part I want to be straight with you about, because the brand's whole thing is calling stuff what it is. I just named the 5 phases. I did not just teach them. You don't know yet what goes in a context file, what a real rule looks like, how the AI actually keeps its own memory, what a definition of done sounds like in practice. That's the depth. And the depth is a whole course. Foundations, the free one this course hands you off to, where each of these 5 gets built out for real, one phase at a time, on an actual project. This lesson points at the way out. Foundations walks it with you. But the shift itself, that you already have. You came into this course stuck, blaming the AI or blaming yourself, with no idea why anything broke. You're leaving with the diagnosis, the cause, and the name of the cure. Improvising was the problem. A system is the answer. 5 phases in order, each one filling a gap you now know by name. That's the turn, stuck to standing in one course. Next, the artifact, because you don't have to build this structure from a blank folder. There's a free starter scaffold that hands you the whole 5-phase shape on day 1, already laid out, ready for your project to drop in on top of it. That's a couple minutes, and it's exactly where you go from here. I'll meet you there.